Lars and the Real Girl, 2007 indie film starring Ryan Gosling in what may be his weirdest role to date. He plays the titular Lars, a massively awkward man, quite likely on the autistic spectrum, although that's never specified. He lives in a remodeled garage next to his old family house, which is now inhabited by his brother and the wife of said brother. Despite their attempts to invite him over to live with them, or even just to visit more often, to kind of draw him out into the life, Lars is content with being more or less alone. Similar thing seems to be happening at work. Lars doesn't really have any real friends there, and sure, he's polite and nice to most of the other people around him, but he definitely has trouble establishing new relations. A newly hired girl is clearly trying to flirt with him, but he completely ignores her in ways that are almost painful to watch. One day, a coworker shows him a website which allows you to order a custom sex doll with a whole backstory and stuff. And Lars ends up buying one, and upon her arrival, he insists that she is actually a real person. He goes along with this, backstory from the website, and he pretends to talk to her, he pretends to listen to her, and he wants other people to treat her like that as well. He's very quickly diagnosed as delusional, but the family doctor suggests to let it be, instead of trying to convince Lars otherwise, to break the illusion, as it may be better to let the troubled man work out his problems this way, whatever those problems may be. Which then leads to the sex doll becoming a larger and larger part of the small town community life. Now, that sounds like an absolutely absurdist premise, and while that absurd humor is certainly present in a lot of the scenes between Gosling's naive sincerity and the more reasonable character's reactions to his lunacy, there's a lot of laughs to be had here. But it's not just that. What the film quickly turns out to be is a slightly melancholic, slightly humorous, but also quite heartfelt exploration of relationships and loneliness and functioning as part of a larger society. The character journey of Lars, as shown in the film, is quite remarkable, and I have to admit, quite heartwarming as well. Credit where credit is due, I think Ryan Gosling absolutely steals the show with his performance. It's an atypical role for him. If you think about it, he mostly tends to play, confident, dashing, charming characters. The Big Short, Crazy Stupid Love, The Nice Guys, La La Land. This time around, he is the least confident person on screen at any given time. His entire look, the weird mustache, the mannerisms, including offbeat blinking, his clothes, the way he walks and carries himself, and he moves around, it all creates this meek, awkward, shy guy. And I think the strength of the performance is the main thing that makes the whole movie work. You need this great lead actor here to carry this premise and stop it from being just simply ridiculous. And that's what Gosling does, fortunately. I think that because this fundamental thing works, this central performance, the other elements do as well. The slightly quirky tone of the film, the genuinely engaging themes that it picks up, the humor, the way that Lars grows as a person in a kind of inspiring way, it's all pretty great. I also really like the technical aspects, in particular the grainy, cold look of the film, which honestly makes it look much older than it actually is, and more European, I guess. It feels like something made in Scandinavia instead of the US. And the music is quite good as well, complementing the atmosphere of the film. All in all, I guess I expected Lars and the Real Girl to be more absurd and weird, but while it has elements of that, it also manages to touch on some actual serious themes and do so in a convincing way.